All right, so I know everyone's telling you different things about weight loss, but as someone who's helped hundreds of busy professionals whom are also parents lose 20 pounds, here are 7 things that you can start doing today if you're trying to lose weight. But first, why would you even listen to me since I was never severely overweight? For one, even though I wasn't overweight, I was quite the opposite. I was under-muscled, I had more body fat than I wanted, and in order to change the way I looked, it's the exact same principles and system, only with different numbers and a slightly different strategy. And I also put myself through 3 years of, treacherous restrictive dieting, doing hardcore keto, strict fasting, 18 hours a day, working out 6 days a week, and doing Muay Thai twice a day. I felt like an absolute shitbag. And now coming out of the other side, as my leanest, strongest, and happiest self, it's my mission now to make sure that you never have to go through that shit again to get in shape. Let's get into those 7 things I'd start doing today if I was trying to lose 20 pounds of body fat. Number 1, first, this might surprise you, I'd focus on sleep quality before anything else. Why? Because sleep is the lead domino to everything great or disastrous. If you don't take care of your sleep, you'll be hungrier, you'll have more cravings, you'll have lower energy for the gym and for your walks, and it'll tank your motivation to stay consistent. Now, I had a client come to me actually sleeping 5 hours a night, and even though his diet was perfect, the scale just wouldn't move. And once I held him accountable to just 6 to 7 hours of sleep to start, he noticed a drastic difference, not only in his energy levels, but his cognitive function, and the weight started dropping as well. And this is because higher quality sleep also decreases your stress levels, cortisol, the hormone that controls your stress, and subsequently the water weight just started dropping off too. So aim for 7 to 8 hours and create a proper wind down routine. Let me help you out with some sleep tips that actually work, okay? So set a reminder on your phone to start your wind down routine, ideally 2 hours before. That means you start dimming the lights, you finish off your content and emails, and prepare for bed. You also want to stop eating as early as possible before bedtime. Now, the more time you have in between your last meal and bedtime, the higher your quality of sleep. Your body should be preparing for rest and producing melatonin versus working to digest a shit ton of food. You also want to taper off water at around dinner time so you're not getting up to pee in the middle of the night and disrupting your sleep. I also wouldn't suggest doing intense exercise close to bedtime either, as it ramps up your adrenaline and increases your body temperature. Now, both these things will inhibit your quality sleep. Last thing, if you have access to a sauna, get in a frigging sauna. I'd get in anytime in the evenings with a temperature of about 80 to 85 degrees for at least 20 minutes. And you can break it up into rounds. It sounds counterintuitive to heat your body up before bed, but what happens is that after the sauna, your body wants to cool down your body temperature by lowering the body temperature. And then when this happens, it sends a signal to your body to start producing melatonin, and you'll feel so much more rested. Do not sleep on the sauna. Second thing I do today to start losing 20 pounds is I'd start tracking my calories. But here's the key. I wouldn't restrict any foods yet. As a matter of fact, I don't even believe in restricting any foods at all. Just track everything for a week to understand your current habits. Now, most people skip this step and jump straight into cutting calories, which is why they fail. Okay, so tracking will create awareness around your food choices. It'll help you understand which foods are more calorie dense and not great for your goals. And on the other side, it'll show you which foods are actually optimal for your fat loss goals. For example, I bet most of you didn't know that just 100 grams of pork belly was 400 freaking calories, right? And that's not a lot of food for that many calories. So if most of your meals consist of super high fatty meats like pork belly, you're going to have a hard time hitting your goals consistently, AKA you're gonna lose fat a lot less. And if you don't know how to track your calories, I made a couple videos on that, and I'll preview them at the end of this video, so stick around. Third thing I would do is to increase my protein intake. So protein is not only very filling, but it has the highest thermic effect of food compared to carbs and fats, meaning you burn more calories digesting and breaking down protein. For example, if you eat 100 calories of chicken breast, the net calories you'd be consuming is about 60 to 7 calories, which is awesome, right? And this is why people who eat a higher protein diet have much better fat loss and body composition outcomes than people who don't. So aim for about 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. If you're 200 pounds, for example, you'd multiply 200 by 0.8, which is a daily protein intake of 160 grams per day. And no, you do not need to eat purely chicken and broccoli, okay? There are other great sources of low-calorie protein: fat-free Greek yogurt, lean ground beef and turkey, egg whites, cottage cheese, tenderloin and sirloin cuts of meat, and seafood. And if you're vegetarian or vegan, look at tempeh and seitan. Those are great calorie to protein ratios too. And remember, gotta make sure your diet is enjoyable, right? Fourth thing I do, and this is crucial, I'd start just walking more. Okay, I'm not talking about intense cardio like sprints or boot camp classes. I'm talking about simply walking. Why? Because it burns calories without making you hungry, it reduces stress, it's low impact and easy on your joints, and it's accessible and free. Of course, it's sustainable. So let's say your calorie deficit is 500 calories per day, and you're a tiny 5'8" woman. Since your calories are already very low to elicit fat loss, you can simply eat in a 300 calorie deficit instead, and then ramp up your steps to about 10,000 per day. Those 10,000 steps can help you burn that additional 200 calories, and you'll still lose the same amount of weight without eating less food. Okay, one of my goals in the near future is to white label my own walking pad and sell it to all of you at a sweet price, because I'm such a big believer in just walking more. Okay, so we get our clients to start about 7,000 steps a day and build up from there. But if you have a hard time moving more from the start, you can literally start with 3,000 steps until you can make it a habit. Then you start building that self-confidence because you didn't miss a day, and then you bump it up. Start small and start holding yourself to a higher standard. Fifth thing I do, and this is gonna be controversial, but I intentionally start eating my favorite processed foods throughout the week. What, Darren? Listen, I see this shit all the time with people starting a fitness journey. They go 100% all in, they try to cut out all processed foods and eat 100% clean. They feel good right off the bat, for sure. The weight starts dropping, and then bang, real life happens, and delicious foods are presented to you in the form of grandma's famous chocolate cookies. And now that it's been 3 weeks of going cold turkey on cookies, your desire to eat them has grown like an 18-year-old on trend, and you say, fuck it. You give yourself the green light to have a cookie, but it's not satisfying. 12 cookies later, 2,500 calories later, along with a mountain of guilt and shame, followed by some good old punishment in the form of skipping the next 3 meals and 2 extra hours of cardio. You find yourself on this roller coaster and you end up looking the same every single year. Okay, you need to start implementing the 80-20 rule with your diet. 80% whole, minimally processed foods, 20% whatever you enjoy. As long as your diet is overall healthy, you will be healthy regardless of what people tell you about chips and Coke Zero being poison. Please don't listen to those people. You know, I promise if you learn how to factor in these fun foods into your lifestyle, you'll prevent these restrict binge cycles that kills most people's progress, and you will finally start living in the body you always wanted, and you'll be happy too. Sixth thing I'd start doing today to lose 20 pounds is I'd start taking progress photos and measurements beyond the scale. The more you measure, the more you can manipulate your results. Okay, your weight will fluctuate every day regardless if you're perfect with your diet, but these other metrics do not lie. Okay, we have clients who don't see the scale move for several weeks, but then they look noticeably leaner in photos and their waistlines are dropping. This is because weight loss does not equal fat loss. Okay, fat loss can be happening even though it does not reflect on the scale. Why do weight fluctuations happen? Well, eating carbs retains water, ingesting sodium does too, being stressed makes you hold on to water, or you could have had a large meal that you didn't drop off yet, so food is still sitting in your belly. And I would be taking photos and measurements every 2 to 3 weeks. Pro tip, if you get anxiety around weighing yourself daily, put a sticky note where the number is that says it's just data, because it's literally all it is. It's a basic metric that's telling you which direction you're moving in. So you can either keep your head in the sand and never look at the numbers, or you can treat your numbers as data and make the right adjustments for bigger changes. Number 7, the final thing I do to lose 20 pounds, and this is what makes or breaks your journey. I'd work on my mindset around food, the way I see food. I'd stop labeling foods as good or bad. I'd even stop labeling them as healthy or unhealthy, because you're not healthy if you eat 1 chicken salad, and you're not unhealthy if you eat 1 slice of pizza. Again, there's an overall healthy diet and an overall unhealthy diet. Learn to eat your favorite foods in moderate portions without guilt. Okay, I really believe your mindset is holding you back from achieving the body you want. If you don't fix your relationship with food, guys, no diet or training program will ever work. It's happened with me. It's what we really focus on in our one-on-one coaching program. So once we work day to day with our clients' mindset and they start slowly breaking free from old disordered eating behaviors, everything starts moving in the right direction, and the fat starts coming off, the confidence skyrockets, and their outlook on life becomes way more vibrant. Okay, so now here's the thing. Knowing what to do is the easy part. The hard part, actually implementing these changes consistently while juggling a busy life. It's exactly why our clients get such great results. We provide daily support and accountability to make these changes stick. So if you're a busy professional / parent who's tired of trying to figure this out alone, comment already below and I'm gonna DM you on how we help our clients lose 20 pounds without giving up their social life or favorite foods, because you are next. Bye.